Welcome to the Theater of Memory. It's a pleasure to have you here. These programs are designed and always presented as live shows. In fact, live shows and tells, wherein I hand you the object that I'm talking about. So if I seem a little awkward today, it's because there's a wall between us today. This segment will be brought to you in a Midwestern dialect of the American version of the English language from the Germanic branch of the Indo-European language family. Thank you. Nobody really talks like that. A big story of humanity's history is writing. In fact, everything that is before that time is usually designated as prehistoric. The first example of words being abstracted onto a surface is about 3000 BC with the Sumerians poking wedge-shaped sticks onto clay tablets. Wedge shape is cuneiform. No less than 17 different languages use this writing during its long run. This particular cuneiform tablet from the archaeological layer known as Old Babylon, 1900 to 1700 BC, is just a business agreement concerning textiles. But what makes it interesting is that we still have the envelope. This writing evolved from a more pictorial form. Now, hieroglyphics are still very pictorial, as these fragments of Egyptian Ushabti show from about 1075 BC. These are magic spells written on funerary servants for the afterlife that look like this when they're intact. The spell awakens those little faience guys to do the bidding of the dead master in the afterlife. In this small strip of Egyptian mummy wrap from about 1000 BC, we see a sort of cursive form of the hieroglyphics called hieratic, and it's used here to write the Book of the Dead on these linen strips to help the deceased with the transition to the afterlife. Demotic writing, as on this papyrus fragment from about 400 BC, is a further morphing of writing, and yes, this is just a small fragment. The bigger chunks of ancient reed paper are very expensive because of their great rarity. Another small piece of papyrus from about that time shows Coptic, a sort of conglomeration of hieroglyphic, hieratic, and demotic. Coptic continues to be spoken, but only by about 300 people today out of nearly 7 billion on the planet. Sometime around the year 200, writing materials went from vegetable to animal. Reed pens on papyrus to quill pens on parchment. By the way, parchment is cow or goat or sheepskin, while vellum is calf or kid or lamb, the finest being unborn calf, kid, or lamb, like in the pages of very old Bibles still mimicked today by the sort of onion skin in some Bibles. From Egypt around 15 or 1600 comes this Coptic Christian scroll in thick parchment. It looks like a red letter edition to me, and it is a magic cure-all. Simply wrap it around a wound or an ailing body part and all will be well. The repair shows that it was well used. This is magic writing, but all writing is magic writing in a way, though in the move toward universal literacy and writing everywhere, content has suffered. Used to be that only important stuff merited the expense and effort. Now, every year in America, more than 350 million magazines, 2,000 million books, and 24,000 million newspapers are published. And we now have the blog. Certainly onomatopoeia. Blog. Anyway, here we have an incantation bowl, broken to release the incantations, I'm told. This is in Aramaic. Just wanted you to see this script, although it's easier to see in person. This is the native tongue to Jesus and his followers, but all truly educated people of his time spoke in the very exciting language of Greek. This fragment of Greek from 500 to 700 BC, and much earlier, and it's just part of a business document, but even that would be of interest to a voyeur anthropologist, to myself, were it translated. Again, I could only afford a very small piece, so it probably just says... Also from Egypt, and rescued from a large Torah, is this deerskin scroll in a strong and precise Hebrew. It's the story of manna from heaven in Genesis. It's only about 500 years old, but because of the manner in which the deerskin was cured, it's turned a beautiful deep red over the years. This medieval scroll was from the days back when marriage was an incident in the exchange of property. It's a dowry agreement drawn in 1389 on parchment in a medieval secretarial hand for Chiara de Bianciarda. Her father made his mark in the lower left-hand corner since he could neither read nor write. Here's a secretarial hand from about 1600 in London, one of about 13 secretarial scripts at the time that kept writing a very specialized task and kept the secretaries employed and in charge of the arcane business of reading and writing. This is in English. The old adage is that some materials are good for carrying messages through space and some through time. Stone and baked clay traverse time pretty well, but papyrus and parchment are much more convenient for carrying messages through space, though they're far more ephemeral. What then of radio waves and photons of light? They are very fast, but profoundly ephemeral. Oh, somebody just messaged me on MySpace. Yeah, there I am. And there's a good one of me, though my hair is messed up in this one. I have a cute smile. Oh, there's another. OMG, they want to do FaceTime. I have to take this. This is bye for now from the Theater of Memory.